Hello students, today we're doing lesson 2 and this is on adding whole numbers. I'm going to also add maybe in your notes the pages that this section is on. So this section is on pages 6 through 7. Okay, this one's a lot shorter. First we're going to do just adding whole numbers. I'm going to give you 2 examples. Hopefully you've done this before, so this is just review. Okay, I'm going to put this down further. I should have given myself some room up at the top because we're going to be carrying over some numbers here. So we have 3,154, and we're going to add to that 861. So here we go. Now, when you're adding numbers, you always start from the right. So I'm going to go 4 plus 1, and that's going to give me 5. When you have 5 plus 6 is 11, we're going to put the ones place here, and then we're going to carry over the tens place over here. And then, so now I'm going to add up all 3 of these for the next section. So 8 plus 1 is 10. So I put the 0 here and the 1 over here. So instead of writing it like this, saying, okay, 10, instead of doing that, I put the 1 up at the top. Okay, some students I've seen in the past do that by putting the 1 down here below, and that's okay too, whichever way. Just make sure that you put that 1 over there. And now I have 1 plus 3 is 4, and don't forget your comment to help you read those numbers. Okay, and that's it for how to add whole numbers. We're going to do one more example, and then I'm going to talk about rounding, and then you're going to go ahead and start your work. Okay, the second example is going to be 159,043. So it's 043. And we're going to add to that 2 million. So your plus sign needs to go way over there. 2,345,826. So always make sure that your commas are lined up and all your numbers are lined up. So even though my bigger number is on the bottom, I still need to have it, lined up with this blank space up here, right? Because the first one didn't have millions in it. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through each section, and I'm just going to add going down, right? So 3 plus 6 is 9. 4 plus 2 is 6. 0 plus 8 is 8. Then 9 plus 5 is 14, so I'm going to put the 4 here and carry the 1 over to here. So now I have 1 plus 5 plus 4, and that gives me 10. So I put the 0 here and the 1 over here. If it's easier for you to put the 1 down here, that's fine. Just make sure that you can see it and you don't miss it. Okay, now I have 1 plus 1 plus 3. That's 5 and the 2. Okay, and then there's my first part. Some kids who start Math 6-7 say, oh, this is really easy. I can do this in my sleep. I don't know why I'm in this class, but the class does get harder. These are just kind of reviews of what you should already know, but we always do reviews in math ahead of time in case some of the kids have not done that. Okay, so next part is rounding estimates. So, or rounding to get an estimate. So the first section in your book says round each add-in, and that's an add-in is like this is an add-in and this is an add-in, right? Each number that you're adding, round each add-in to the greatest place, or to its greatest place. Let's write like that, to its greatest place, to estimate. You need to write all this down. And you need to make sure in all of your class, all of the classes, every day that you have homework, to make sure that you read directions, because your books have lots of different directions. So you need to make sure that you're reading the correct direction. So when you're doing something like this, let's say I have 4,178 plus 682. And it wants you to estimate by rounding to the greatest place. So rounding to the greatest place on this one, this is the greatest place, is 4. So we did rounding yesterday, or last lesson. So that means I'm going to look to the right, and that means this one is 4,000, right? Because 1 tells me to stay the same. And then over here, the greatest place is 6. look over at the 8, and that tells me I'm going to round to 700. Now add these numbers, and I get 4,700. So rounding or estimating is a lot easier to do, but you do need to make sure that you round it correctly. Okay? So that's one way of estimating. So we're estimating in these. The second way they want you to estimate is using front-end estimation. So in front-end estimation, so this is why you have to read your book, because some of them will say round to the greatest place to estimate, and the other one will say front-end to estimate. Okay, so this is how you do front-end estimation. You round the first 2 digits. Round first 2 digits. So in the last one, we rounded with 1 digit. This one, we're going to round 2 digits. So if I have 15,678 and I'm adding 26,311, then all I'm going to do is take the first 2 digits. So that means I'm going to look to the right of that. And the 6 tells me to round up. So I have 16,000 instead of 15,000. And this one, so I'm going to take the 26,000 and I'm going to say, oh, that 3 tells me to round, to keep it the same. So now I can add those. So all these zeros, 6 plus 6 is 12. And now I have 42,000. Remember, that's my front end estimation, okay? If I did these with the first part, the greatest place estimation, then I would have rounded from these places, but that's not what the instruction said to do. Remember, this is on video, so if I'm going too fast, you can hit pause, think about it, you can rewind. Okay, let's do another front end estimation because I noticed some kids have a hard time when I've only shown them one example. So let's say I have 19,735 plus 3,487. And I want to do front end estimation. Okay, so I'm going to use the 2 greatest places to estimate those. Okay, so I'm going to take these 2 are 10,000s, and I am going to round that one to 20,000. Right? And then the next one is 3,487. So some of the kids take these 2 and round, but that's not what I mean by taking the 2 greatest. I shouldn't have said, okay, so up here where I said round the first 2 digits, that's the first 2 digits of the greatest places. So this one was different. This first one was different because they had the same places, but this one has different places. So since we're going to round to on this one to the thousands place, we're going to do the same thing on the one that has less. So this one is going to be just 3,000. 3,000. And so when we add these together, we're going to get 23,000. Right? Okay. So that is how you do front-end estimation. I don't do a lot of front-end estimation. I don't even usually put it on the test. I do put the estimating on the test, but not front-end estimation. But I do like you to just see it since it's in your book and you only have a couple of problems with it. Okay, that's it for today. Today was a really short lesson. Look at your email for your homework.